You will choose the brand of your minisplit. If you don't find it, you try with one by one to see if whether or not if one of them turns your minisplit on. In the case that your minisplit doesn't turn on with any, you can come here, select the stage, and record a command. Okay. Remember that it is not limited to recording minisplit commands. You can record a heater command or a 3 command if you want, but also you have this exposed if you want to control another thing like a minisplit, a fan, etc. That is not under the control of the temperature. Okay. And finally, yeah, you need the Wi-Fi connection.
So finally, this is the video that most of you guys are waiting for. In this video, we are going to see how exactly this plate is going to be connected or interconnected with the Nest thermostat, and how we finally are going to be controlling a mini split that is there. All right. So at this point, I'm just going to try to go faster because it might be a longer video. But at this point, you are not supposed to have this Nest thermostat side of the wall. So at this point, you just can go ahead and connect all the necessary accessories to the wall. So what we are going to be seeing here is that you already need to have everything, because the configurations that are needed do not require you to wire anything else. Okay, everything else can happen on the phone or on your computer, and it's actually very straightforward. So at this point, you already need to have everything and correctly installed in the wall. So in this case, for instance, supposing that this is already, or these plastic plates are already on top of the wall, then you are gonna come here with this setup, and you're gonna screw the setup, all right, like this. So you might also notice that you will have your LED and you will have this little sensor. This little sensor is the one that is going to let you record the commands. Once again, remember, if the package was, let's say, heat or something, and it is like this, just make sure it is in a more comfortable position so that it can let you record your commands. For instance, in this case, let's say it is like this, okay? So it is a little exposed here, but not touching the ring, just sitting there, all right? So as you can see, it is telling me the Nest thermostat that is missing power. There you go. So it is telling you, hey, it's not powered, okay? Here is my transformer. Now, once again, alive. Okay, as you can see, let's just done. Okay, this is it. And we're gonna make the test. So we are going to point our LED. Sorry, I'm gonna disconnect once again. We have power back in. Then the next configuration, remember, is on the computer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and wait for the switch config network. Okay, so I'm gonna select it. I'm connected already. Then I'm gonna go to this IP. Once I get connected, as you can see, I am now connected. Once I get connected, I go to the IP that is on the screen, all right? And then you can just go ahead to the config, or if you don't see the main menu, you just can come here to this IP/config.html. All right. So basically, here there are a couple of steps that allows you to finish the configuration of the circle. And the first configuration, the first thing that you need to do is to select the brand or the name of the codec. Those are technical things, but you will notice that there are some brands here like Panasonic, Sony, LG, Sanyo, Mitsubishi, etc., and some, I don't know, codecs. So basically, right now, what you need to do if you don't have a specific codec or a specific brand, which is my case, for instance, I have a minisplit that is from another brand that is not here. You can just come here and start testing. Like for instance, I come here and test. I press test, and the minisplit should go on. All right. In this case, I know for a fact that this is not the correct codec, the correct brand, right? Sorry. So what will happen is that it won't happen. It won't do anything. Let me just increase the screen a little bit. Yeah. Okay. The remote for that is this one. As you can see, the brand is just a brand that is a generic brand. I'm just gonna come here, and I know for a fact which is the codec for this minisplit, so I'm just gonna go ahead and show you. This is the one. All right. How do I know which is the correct one? Do I have a guide? No, I don't have a guide. You have to test one by one until you reach a specific one that works for you, for your system, for your brand, for your minisplit. Okay. In my case, mine works with this. All right. I added like a specific label here so that I can know that that is the one that works for me. So I just want to go ahead and press the test, and as you can see, it started working. Okay, here is the remote. So I'm gonna turn it on. You will notice that it will receive the other command, which is heating, and then off. There you go. So basically at this point, we know for a fact that our Nest thermostat is working with the circle. So you already know that this is the codec that works for your minisplit. In my case, well, this is it. In your case, you might want to go ahead and try more. Okay, there is going to be sometimes that none of the brands, none of the codecs work for your specific minisplit. Okay, for those cases, you can record your own comments. All right. So what is the purpose of that? The purpose of that is that it can be used, the circle can be used with any brand, with any specific model or generic brands, generic models, etc. Okay, so you just come here and select which is the stage. Remember, we already talked about these stages. W1, W2, G, Y1, Y2, and of course the command off for turning the minisplit off. So for instance, in the case that my brand wasn't here, you will come here and select, for instance, the stage W2. All right, it's just an example. And then you will press record. And once I press record, you will notice that the circle is going to be in blue. It's going to turn blue. All right, let me just, yeah. So I'm gonna press record, and it's gonna tell you I'm on the recording stage. And as you can see, this is the recording stage. All right, so in my case, I'm gonna grab my remote, and remember the sensor that I was showing you, the one that is on the other side. right? This one right here. This one is the one that is going to receive your command. I'm gonna press the power on just as an example, and all right, I press the power on and it captured the command. In this case, it was a heat command with 28 degrees. Okay, you can specify, of course, your command. Let's say I want it to be cool. I'm sorry, I turned on the mini split. So you can specify, for instance, 25. You can go lower, 23, and then you just come here and press, and it will capture that specific command. Okay, and remember the stages. Those are very, very important. All right, let's suppose that your minisplit brand was working. Okay, you selected, I don't know, for instance, you had an LG, and obviously you don't need to record the commands, all right, because it was already working. There is no need to record additional commands here. However, it is very handy if you need to turn on something at some specific stage. For instance, if the minisplit is cooling with the Nest thermostat, you might want to attach a recording. For instance, if it is heating, W1, for instance, if it is heating because it's very cold where you live, you can record an additional command from a heater. This remote is from a heater that I have at home because sometimes it's very, very cold, and the minisplit, for instance, is not does not output enough warm up there. So I have an additional heater. You can for sure record the command here, and the Nest thermostat is going to execute the let's say the hearing stage, and then it's going to execute the recorded command. All right, and that's something that is very handy because you might want to control two devices with the same minisplit that are on range, of course, or you might even want to control another minisplit because you might be having two minisplits, let's say in the living room or in the dining room, and one is working with the codec, and the other one might be another brand or whatever, and you might want to record it. In the case of two mini splits are with the same brand, well, there is no need to do any more recordings, right? And then we have another turn on and turn off command. In this case, it's only available for HomeKit users. HomeKit users are iPhone users. So the circle also exposes an interface, second interface. It initially exposes one interface, which is the minisplit interface in HomeKit. But if you record these commands, you will be or you will receive another interface. So you will have two interfaces, one for the minisplit and one for another thing that you might want to use. For instance, this can be used in the case of a fan. For instance, you have a fan in your house, or you have a TV. For instance, this is the example that I put here. You have a TV, and you would like to control the TV because the circle already has the technology to do so. Let's just go ahead and show you how those things are working. For instance, in my case, it's not connecting right now because remember that I'm on the hotspot, okay? But you will notice here I have this interface, which is the interface for controlling the minisplit but I also have this one here that is called TV, and because it was configured like this, okay? And lastly, we have the choose network. You have to connect the circle to the internet because it uses the HomeKit. Even though you're not an iPhone user, it still uses the HomeKit as a well, the HomeKit, Alexa, and Google Home interfaces to make the boot up. So it boots up after the Wi-Fi connection is set up. So if you don't connect the, or if you leave like the circle without this connection, it won't start. It needs the Wi-Fi to start. Okay. So basically that's it, guys. This is a very long video. Just to recap again, you will choose the brand of your mini split. If you don't find it, you try with one by one to see if whether or not if one of them turns your mini split on. In the case that your mini split doesn't turn on with any, you can come here, select the stage, and record a command. Okay. Remember that it is not limited to recording mini split commands. You can record a heater command or a TV command if you want, but also you have this exposed if you want to control another thing like a mini split, a fan, etc. that is not under the control of the temperature. Okay. And finally, yeah, you need the Wi-Fi connection. And that's it, guys. That's how you make the installation. That's how you configure everything. And at the end, you will have your mini split working like that. That's an S thermostat, the one that became famous. And yeah, basically this is how you do it. Thanks for watching and see you in the comments.